New photos from Hunter Biden's laptop getting posted online. This one of Hunter's Porsche dashboard showing him driving 172 miles per hour while reportedly on his way to Las Vegas back in 2018. Meanwhile, U.S. Attorney for Delaware David Weiss, the federal prosecutor overseeing the Hunter Biden tax probe, breaking his silence on claims the investigation was influenced by politics. Weiss insisting he had, quote, ultimate authority over the probe and that the Justice Department did not retaliate against the IRS whistleblowers. Joining me now is Texas Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne. Congresswoman, good morning. Of course, you're a member of House and Ways and Small Business Committees as well. Your thoughts on these new revelations, not just from the laptop, but also from Weiss himself?
Well, I mean, from the laptop, it's obvious. I mean, you have the son of a president who has shown, at least the transcripts from these two IRS whistleblowers have shown he's treated with kid gloves. The deal that he made just a few weeks ago, none of us could have made. What you've seen, the photos on the laptop, is actual proof of things that are obviously illegal. And you've got this two-tier system of justice that between the DOJ, the FBI, and the IRS seem to be treating the Biden administration as hands-off. We're not allowed to touch. But these whistleblower transcripts that we finally were able to have made public a couple of weeks ago in our Ways and Means Committee show is that this has been a systemic issue of corruption and slow walking of charges against the president's son, against Hunter Biden, specifically by people within the agencies who have said, don't investigate this, don't ask these questions, don't go to these witnesses. We're not going to give, even though there seems to be proof, at least a predominance of evidence to be able to go and investigate, we're not going to do it. It's an absolute two-tiered system. As far as what's happening with U.S. Attorney Weiss, I don't know. I mean, I've heard multiple different statements that he was allowed some leeway, he wasn't allowed other leeway, he wasn't given a special counsel. But this is, I think, why we need to get down to the bottom of it and find out exactly who knew what when. And
do you
find
think
out
is it
who
the,
has influenced it up.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but what about, the bank records? I mean, where's the forensic accountants? And I'm specifically, thinking of James Comer and his investigation. I mean, won't those bank records give us a more clear picture of those potentially $5 million payments that went to Hunter Biden, then Vice President Biden?
We're trying to get down to the bottom of all of that. And I think Comer, I think Jordan, I think Chairman Jason Smith are doing phenomenal jobs of asking those questions. I mean, what we have seen from the whistleblower testimony alone shows that they have been slow walked, shows that because of that slow walking and because of the heads up that the first family received, that charges that could have been charged for crimes and committed potentially in 2014 and 2015 no longer are relevant because they have passed the statute of limitations. That was specifically because the DOJ did not pursue those, and now we're left. We can't even hold them accountable for those crimes potentially committed in 2014, 2015.
Okay, I want to move on to the border. The Texas Department of Public Safety recovering at least 4 bodies, including that of an infant from the Rio Grande. That's just since the start of July. Texas authorities also saving 2 migrant children found abandoned at the edge of the Rio Grande Monday. An 8-year-old and 11-year-old, they say a woman left them there and told them to cross the river into the U.S. Meanwhile, you've got Texas DPS. They arrested a Florida truck driver who was smuggling 12 illegal migrants. This huge chaotic chase happened. I asked former Border Patrol Chief Ronald Vitiello about all of this earlier. I want you to listen to what he said to me.
We know that smugglers have no regard for the people that they're trying to bring into the United States. And so they'll leave them behind. They'll send people across the river knowing full well that they can't swim. We've seen the weather today. That the southwest border is near 100 degrees almost everywhere across.
Congressman, your reaction to what is still a chaotic humanitarian crisis at the southern border?
I mean, my heart's breaking right now. I mean, you see these pictures over and over again. And why are these people coming? They're coming because they are promised that they're going to have their health care paid for, their housing paid for, their medical, medicine paid for, their education paid for. And we have open borders. We're not sending people back. We are collecting them, sending them throughout our country. And this is happening over and over again as a result of the Biden policies. And I'll tell you, I read a New York Times article yesterday that said, numbers are down. They're relatively low. The numbers that they're talking about is 3,400 illegal crossings per day, which is about 4 times as many as we were seeing under the Trump administration. Numbers are not low. Simply because they were lower than what was happening a year ago under the Biden administration does not mean they're low. And you're going to see, I mean, right now, you said it's over 100 degrees down at the border. You're going to continue to see high temperatures. It's Texas. It's over the summer. People are dying on a regular basis. And once they're brought into this country by some of these sex traffickers and human traffickers, the conditions don't get much better. Some of these people have been found worked to death under threat of death, because when they're brought over here, they are human trafficked. You've seen kids who have died as a result of sex trafficking. It's continuing to happen. And this administration isn't taking it seriously.
It's heartbreaking, Congresswoman. Adam Johnson's on set with me. He's got a quick question for you.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl. Congresswoman, if you can help me understand, please, the following. On the one hand, we limit the number of smart, highly trained people who can come in because we cap the H-1B visas at 65,000. So if you're an engineer, a doctor, you have to go through that program, only 65,000 per year. On some weeks, we have triple that crossing the border with no education, maybe not even able to speak English. How is it that we resolve the fact that if you're poor and you're coming over across the river, you're welcome, but if you're smart and highly trained, I'm sorry, you're not? How do we resolve that?
How you resolve it is actually looking at some of the policies that were in place before this administration came in, but also looking at policies that we've tried to pass during our discussions on the House floor. So we just passed a border bill a few weeks ago that came out of the House that would give more resources to Customs and Border Protection folks, but would also give more resources at the local level. Because you're absolutely right. We want people to come here. We understand that we are a country that was built on immigration. We want folks who want to assimilate, who want to get jobs, who want to be productive, and who want to pursue the American way of life. We want those people here. But we also recognize that immigration and border security are two separate things. And before we start looking at revamping our entire immigration system, we have to protect our border, where you are seeing millions of people. By the time this administration is done, it's estimated that there's going to be between 13 and 14 million illegal immigrants that enter our country. We have to address that. We have to address it now.
And no one is suffering worse than the great people of Texas, in particular, with this crisis. Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne of Texas, thank you so much for being here, Congresswoman. Really appreciate your time.